There are things people notice immediately about Laguna Beach. The beaches, the ocean views, the art galleries, the cottages, the restaurants, the incredible sunsets. Those are all things that are obvious. They're beautiful and they deserve the attention they get. But after you've lived here for a while, you begin noticing completely different things. Little things, unexpected things, tiny observations, small routines, habits that quietly become part of your everyday life. And honestly, those little things often become the reasons people never want to leave. They aren't things visitors notice. They're not things you'll find in a travel brochure. And they're definitely not things most real estate agents talk about. But I think they're the things that tell you what it actually feels like to live there. Today, I want to share 15 little things people don't usually notice about Laguna Beach until they actually call it home. I'm Clara Blunt with Ambo Real Estate, and I help people find not just homes, but the lifestyles that truly fit them here in Laguna Beach and the surrounding coastal communities. And today's video is a little different. This isn't a market update, it's not a neighborhood tour, and it's not a list of reasons to move here. It's a real conversation about everyday life because I think the places we love most aren't defined by major events. They're shaped by small moments. The places where we grab coffee, the routes we walk, the habits we develop, the views we stop appreciating until a visitor reminds us how extraordinary they actually are. And Laguna Beach has many of those moments. So let's jump in. You start checking sunsets. Most people check the weather forecast. Laguna residents check the sunsets. And I don't mean occasionally, I mean regularly. People talk about sunsets here. They text photos to friends. They decide where they're going to watch them, what cove. They leave work a little earlier. They grab dinner later. They plan their evening walks around sunset times. At some point, you stop asking, will there be a sunset tonight? And instead you ask, where should we watch the sunset? Should we head to Top of the World? Maybe Hyzer Park? Maybe Crescent Bay? Treasure Island? Victoria Beach? People begin developing favorite sunset locations, favorite seasons, favorite cloud patterns, and eventually you realize you're becoming someone who casually says things like, the marine layout is burning off. Tonight might be spectacular. That probably wasn't on your bingo card before moving here, but somehow it becomes normal. And honestly, I think that's wonderful because sunsets force us to pause. It's that 15 minutes as you're watching the sunset. They remind us that sunsets don't need to be productive. You just simply watch and enjoy. Number 2, you become weirdly opinionated about coffee. At first, coffee is just coffee. You stop somewhere convenient, grab a latte, move on with your day. But after living in Laguna Beach for a while, something changes. People develop opinions, strong opinions. People swear by Wild Strawberry. Others love rapport coffee roasters. Some people won't go anywhere except Moon Goats. People have favorite pastries, favorite outdoor tables, favorite almond milk brands, favorite baristas. They know exactly where the morning light hits. They know which cafe is quieter on weekdays, which one has easier parking, which one feels more social, which one feels better for reading, so it's quieter. And eventually coffee shops stop being about caffeine. It becomes a ritual. It becomes where you're comfortable. It becomes community. It becomes a way to ease into the day. Where do you want to work? Which coffee shop? You see familiar faces. You wave to your neighbors. You chat with the staff. And I think that's one of the subtle gifts Laguna Beach offers. People begin treating ordinary moments as experiences. Instead of rushing through them, they linger. They enjoy the present moment. They stay a little longer. They enjoy their environment, and it allows for a healthier way to live. Number 3, you have a favorite bench. Yes, it comes to that. This one sounds silly, but I genuinely think almost everyone who lives in Laguna Beach eventually develops a favorite bench. Maybe it's at the top of the world. Maybe it's overlooking Crescent Bay. Maybe it's hidden along a Validio trail. Maybe it's one of the benches near Dartmoor. Maybe it's in Hyzer Park. And what's interesting is people rarely tell anyone about it. They simply return again and again and again. and they sit there after a stressful day and they bring a coffee. Maybe they journal. Maybe they read. Maybe they simply sit and breathe. In a world that constantly encourages movement, there's something beautiful about having a place to dedicate to stillness. A place where you don't need to accomplish anything. You simply exist. And I think Laguna Beach provides more opportunities for that than most places do. Number 4, you know which beaches have bathrooms. Visitors choose beaches based on beauty. Locals choose beaches based on logistics. And honestly, that's when you know you become a local. When you stop asking which beach is prettiest and you start asking which beach has better parking, which beach has bathrooms, which beach has shade, which beach is easier for guests, which beach is better at high tide, which beach works best for kids. Treasure Island, Crescent Bay, Victoria Beach, Thousand Steps, each one begins developing its own personality, its own practical advantages. And over time, you realize that convenience becomes surprisingly important. Beauty still matters, of course it does, but comfort matters too. And the longer people live here, the more they appreciate those details. And it's comfort for themselves. You become proactive. You become protective of local businesses. Something interesting happens after people have lived here for a while. They become advocates. People genuinely want their local businesses to thrive and succeed. They recommend restaurants. They tell visitors where to eat. They support yoga studios, juice bars, fitness clubs, small boutiques. They celebrate openings. They feel sad when businesses close because eventually those places stop feeling like businesses. They begin feeling like neighbors. People recommend Harvest, Active Culture, Nirvana by Chef Lindsay, Art of Juicing, Salt Yoga, Laguna Bar, Art of Fitness. These are places that become part of your routine, part of identities, part of friendships. And I think that's one of the nicest things about living in a smaller coastal community. People feel invested in one another. Thing number 6, visitors always get taken to the same 3 places. Everyone has a routine. Someone comes to visit and immediately you begin planning. You think, we're definitely taking them to Top of the World, probably Heiser Park, maybe Treasure Island, possibly Victoria Beach. You know exactly which trail they'll enjoy, which restaurants they'll love, where the best photo opportunities are. And after a while, you realize you become a tour guide, not because anyone asked you to, but because you genuinely want people to experience Laguna in the way that you experience it. And that's one of the beautiful things about loving where you live, and you want to share it. Thing 7, you time errands around visitors. Summer afternoons, maybe not. Festival weekends, probably avoid downtown. Holiday weekends, definitely think twice. At some point, you stop looking at a calendar and start looking at Laguna seasons, art festival season, pageant season, summer trolley season, holiday season, and eventually you develop an internal rhythm. You know when the beaches feel quieter. You know when the restaurants will be busy. You know when parking will be easier. And surprisingly, that rhythm becomes comforting, not restrictive, simply familiar, and it calms the nervous system down. Number 8, you start paying attention to surf conditions. Here's something funny. Even if you've never surfed in your entire life, you eventually start paying attention to surf conditions. You notice when the waves are bigger, what the swell's doing. You hear people talking about swells. You begin recognizing when the ocean looks calm or when it looks powerful. You hear surfers discussing conditions over coffee. You notice more boards strapped to cars or bicycles. You learn that certain beaches are better on certain days. And before long, you find yourself saying things like, the surf looks pretty good today, even though you've never packed a board, never paddled out once. And I think that speaks to something bigger. Surfing isn't a sport in Laguna Beach. It's part of a culture, part of the identity, part of the relationships people have with the ocean. You don't have to surf to appreciate it. You simply have to observe. And over time, you begin feeling connected to the rhythm. The ocean stops becoming scenery. It becomes something alive, something changing, something worth paying attention to. And I think that's beautiful. For example, last week, the swell was huge. The best swollen over the last 3 to 5 years. At Brook Street, 8 to 5 foot swell and waves. The surfers were out. The locals were enjoying it 200 yards off of Second Reef. They were just having the time of their lives. And there were so many locals and spectators down at the beaches watching these surfers surf and taking the waves and just excited, taking pictures. And it just brought together community again. My son was out there. He was having the time of his life. And then he came in. He was so excited. His board actually broke. And he was like, well, that was so cool. And my board broke. So they enjoy every moment of being in those waters. And you will too. Real quick, if Laguna Beach has been on your heart and you're trying to figure out your next step, you don't have to do it alone. I help people make thoughtful moves that fit their life, not just the numbers. If you want support, call or text me at 949-998-4866 or go to clarablunt.com. Or you can email me at clara@anvil.com. Now let's get back to it. Number 9, you spend more time outside without trying. One thing I hear over and over again from people who move here is that they don't intentionally decide to become outdoor people. It just happens. Coffee moves outside. Phone calls happen outside. Reading happens outside. Dinner moves outside. Meetings happen outside. Exercise happens outside. Walks, even chores become more enjoyable. People walk to run errands. They take the scenic route. They linger. And perhaps the biggest surprise is it doesn't feel like effort. It feels natural. I think that's because Laguna Beach makes being outside so easy, so comfortable, beautiful, inviting. You don't have to force yourself. You simply look outside and think, why wouldn't I fill in the blank? And little by little, your lifestyle changes without any grand resolution, without any New Year's goals. It simply just evolves and you feel more fit, healthier, and more grounded. Number 10, flip-flops become acceptable almost everywhere in Laguna Beach. It has its own dress code. And I mean that in the best possible way. People are stylish. People care about aesthetics. But there is also an effortless quality here. Comfort matters. Function matters. People dress for walking, for beaches, for trails, for patios, for being outside. And eventually, you realize flip-flops become surprisingly versatile. You wear them to coffee, you wear them to lunch, you wear them for running errands, sometimes even to dinner, and nobody thinks twice about it. There is something refreshing about living somewhere that doesn't constantly ask you to perform, to impress, to compete. People seem more interested in enjoying themselves than proving something. And honestly, I think many people find that liberating. Number 11, you start thinking in tides. Visitors check the weather, locals check tide charts because tides matter here. Low tide means exploring sightseers. Low tide means easier access to Victoria Beach. Low tide means sea cage at Thousand Steps. Low tides means better photography, better walks, more beach. And eventually you become someone who casually says things like, let's go later, the tide will be lower. And that's when you realize you've changed, because before Laguna, you probably never even thought about tides. And now they're influencing your patterns and your plans, your weekends, your walks, even your guest itineraries. It's a small thing, but it reminds you how connected life here becomes to nature. You stop fighting the rhythms around you, and instead you begin moving with them and through them. Number 12, every beach has its own personality. At first, all beaches seem the same. They all seem beautiful, and they are. But after living here, you realize each beach has a distinct personality. Crescent Bay feels peaceful. Treasure Island feels elegant. Victoria Beach feels adventurous. Thousand Steps feels rewarding. Shaw's Cove feels intimate. Main Beach feels energetic. And some beaches are perfect for snorkeling. Some are wonderful for families. Some are ideal for reading. And some are better for sunsets. And some feel romantic, some feel playful, and eventually stop asking, which beach should we go to? And instead ask, what kind of beach day do you want? And I think that's one of the wonderful things about Laguna. You don't just have beaches, you have options, experiences, moods, what will it bring out in you, places that you meet. Wherever you happen to be emotionally, there's a beach for you. Number 13, people start giving directions differently. People in Laguna Beach don't always give directions using street names. Instead, they'll say things like, park near the Pirate Tower, meet me by the beach there, walk past the coffee shop and keep going. Turn where the eucalyptus trees start. The trail entrance is hidden between two houses. And eventually, you do the same. You do the same thing, the same landmarks, and landmarks become emotional, not practical. They're tied to memories, experiences, people, moments. And honestly, I think that's a sign that you've become connected to the place. You stop navigating with GPS and start navigating with stories. Number 14, you start missing Laguna when you're somewhere else. This might be my favorite. People leave Laguna Beach all the time for vacations, family visits, business trips, and they often have a wonderful time. But then they come home and suddenly they notice things. The smell of the ocean, the quality of the light, the hills, the trails, the sea breeze, the sounds of the waves, and they realize Laguna has quietly become their baseline. It has become what normal feels like. And that's powerful because certain places imprint themselves on us. They become associated with chapters of our lives, people we love, moments we'll never forget. And Laguna tends to do that. It stays with people, even after they've left. Number 15, you stop measuring days by productivity. This may be the biggest shift of all. People often arrive measuring their days by accomplishments, emails answered, meetings completed, tasks finished, errands checked off. And slowly that begins to change. People start asking for questions. Did I spend time outside today? Did I watch a sunset? Did I walk somewhere beautiful? Did I call a friend? Did I enjoy today? And I don't think Laguna Beach changes people. I don't think it magically reduces stress or responsibilities or challenges. But I do think it gently reminds people that life isn't only about productivity. It's also about experiences, connections, beauty, presence, and perhaps one of the biggest gifts a place can offer.
So what do these 15 things have in common? None of them are dramatic. None of them are life-changing on their own. They're simply small moments, tiny observations, simple routines. But when you experience them repeatedly, week after week, day after day, month after month, year after year, they quietly begin shaping your life. And I think that's what surprises people most about Laguna Beach. It doesn't really change who you are, it enriches you. It simply gives you more opportunities to become the version of yourself that was already there. A little calmer, a little healthier, a little more appreciative, a little more connected, a little more willing to pause, to enjoy, to notice. And eventually those little things become the things you never want to lose. If you're thinking about moving to Laguna Beach or simply wondering whether this lifestyle might feel right for you for your next chapter, I'd truly love to help guide you. Clara Ambel, REINC.com, 949-998-4866. And if you enjoyed this video, it would mean so much if you gave it a like, subscribe to the channel, and join me for more conversations about Laguna Beach, the surrounding areas, the neighborhoods, local favorites, market updates, and what it's really like to live here in Laguna Beach. And I'd love to hear from you. What is one little thing about your hometown that visitors would probably never notice? Leave a comment below. I'm Clara Blanc with Anvil Real Estate, and I look forward to helping you find the right place that is aligned for you.